Think you know Israel? Ancient stones, sacred sites, and then Tel Aviv's wild beaches. It's a place where the religious and secular, ancient and modern collide every day. Beneath the surface, though, are invisible rules, taboos that shape daily life, identity, and politics. If you don't know them, you'll stick out fast. Today, we're diving into 13 surprising taboos that define modern Israel. From Yom Kippur's empty roads to the country's most divisive debate, let's get started. Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism, a day of atonement, reflection, and solemn prayer. It's a time when Jewish people around the world focus on introspection and spiritual renewal. In Israel, the country doesn't just slow down, it undergoes a complete transformation. Imagine the vibrant, bustling streets of Tel Aviv or Jerusalem on any given day. It stops. The usual cacophony of city life fades into an eerie silence. Roads are empty. The Ayalon highway, normally choked with traffic, becomes a surreal, vacant expanse. No cars, not a single vehicle in sight. Parking lots stand deserted, echoing the day's solemnity. No buses, public transportation grinds to a halt, leaving bus stations eerily empty. No planes. Ben Gurion Airport, a hub of international travel, becomes a silent testament to the day, with planes grounded. It's not illegal to drive. Technically, the law doesn't forbid driving on Yom Kippur. But doing so is a massive social taboo. It's a deeply ingrained cultural norm, a collective agreement to pause. Even secular Israelis honor this national pause. It transcends religious observance. It's a moment of shared identity. Driving is seen as disrespectful, like crashing a moment of collective reflection. It's perceived as a disregard for the community's shared experience. If you do drive, expect public outrage. Yelling, blocked roads, people will make their displeasure known, even stones in some neighborhoods. In more religious areas, the reaction can be quite intense. Meanwhile, kids ride bikes on highways, turning the normally dangerous roads into giant playgrounds. Families stroll down the middle of major roads. It's a unique opportunity to reclaim public spaces. This isn't just religious, it's much more than a matter of faith. It's a shared cultural experience, a powerful demonstration of collective identity and social cohesion. Breaking it says, "My convenience matters more than our unity." It's a statement that prioritizes individual needs over the collective good. In Israel, that's a big deal. Community and shared values hold immense social significance. Yom Kippur's empty streets reveal how tradition becomes national identity. The silence speaks volumes about the country's values. Even if you're not religious, you're part of the silence. You're participating in a national moment of pause and reflection. To break it is to break the unspoken contract of community. It's a violation of the shared understanding that binds Israeli society together. That's why, on this day, the car stays parked. It's a small sacrifice that symbolizes a commitment to something larger than oneself. Pork and shellfish, ultimate taboos in Israel. It's not just about kosher laws, it's about identity. Eating pork is a statement, not just a menu choice. In Tel Aviv, you'll find it, but it's a conscious act of secularism. In religious areas, it's nearly impossible. The 1962 pork law lets towns ban pig farming and sales. Every bite is a reminder of the tension between Israel's religious roots and its secular present. Lunch here can be a political act. In Israel, what's on your plate can spark debate. Food is never just food. In Israel, death is surrounded by ancient taboos. Jewish law considers a dead body a source of ritual impurity, especially for Kohanim, descendants of priests, who can't attend most funerals or enter cemeteries. Funerals happen fast, bodies handled by special burial societies. The focus, respect, but minimal contact. These rules shape real-life practices in hospitals and cemeteries. For outsiders, it's a hidden world of boundaries. Ancient laws still guide the most profound moments. In Israel, even mourning has invisible lines. In many religious Israeli homes, intimacy follows ancient rhythms. During menstruation and for a week after, couples avoid all physical contact. No hand-holding, no sharing a bed. Afterward, women immerse in a mikveh, a ritual bath, to restore purity. This isn't about hygiene, it's spiritual. The details are private, rarely discussed outside the community. For many, it deepens intimacy. For others, it's a mystery. The practice is sacred, not casual conversation. Ancient rituals quietly shape modern love. In Israel, even romance has rules. On some Israeli bus lines, men in front, women in back, by social pressure, not law. These Mehadrin buses serve ultra-Orthodox communities, enforcing strict modesty. Women who sit up front may face harassment. The Supreme Court banned forced segregation, but voluntary separation persists. Signs say, "Sit anywhere," but the taboo remains. It's a daily clash between religious tradition and civil rights. The debate: where does freedom end and discrimination begin? In some neighborhoods, the answer is still up for grabs. The Western Wall, Judaism's holiest site, a place of pilgrimage and profound spiritual significance for Jews around the world. For centuries, it has stood as a silent witness to history, a remnant of the ancient temple, drawing countless visitors seeking solace, connection, and divine inspiration. But it is also a battleground, a focal point for tensions and disagreements over religious practice and interpretation. The stones themselves seem to absorb the weight of these ongoing conflicts. Orthodox rules, deeply entrenched in tradition, enforce a strict separation between men and women in the main prayer plaza. This division is maintained by a physical barrier, a mechitza, that symbolizes the differing roles prescribed to each gender within Orthodox Judaism. These rules also dictate the manner in which prayers are performed, adhering to specific rituals and customs passed down through generations. This adherence to tradition is seen by many as essential to preserving the sanctity of the site. Enter the Women of the Wall, a group of determined activists challenging the status quo. They are fighting for the right to pray aloud, to express their devotion in a manner that resonates with their own spiritual understanding. To read Torah, a sacred text traditionally reserved for men in Orthodox settings. And to wear prayer shawls, or talit, traditionally worn by men during prayer. Their monthly services, acts of defiance in the eyes of some, spark outrage among certain segments of the Orthodox community. These actions often lead to protests, heated confrontations, and sometimes even violence from ultra-Orthodox opponents who view their practices as a violation of sacred tradition. For some, particularly within feminist circles, it's a feminist revolution, a bold step towards gender equality within Judaism. But for others, it's a desecration, a violation of the sanctity of the wall and the traditions it represents. Court victories, recognizing the rights of women of the wall, have created compromise spaces, designated areas where they can pray according to their customs. But the main plaza, the heart of the Western Wall, remains contested territory, a constant reminder of the unresolved tensions. Even prayer here in this sacred space is inherently political, laden with layers of meaning and implications. The wall is a mirror, reflecting not only the sky above, but also the deepest divides within Israeli society, the fault lines between tradition and modernity, religion and secularism. In this ongoing fight, tradition and change collide with unwavering intensity every month, as the women of the wall continue their struggle for recognition and religious freedom. Enter ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods, and the dress code is strict, especially for women. Long sleeves, high necklines, skirts below the knee, hair covered for married women. Trousers? Out of the question. Visitors in immodest clothes get stares or shouts, sometimes even warnings from posters. It's not just about clothing, it's about belonging. The dress code is a visible boundary between worlds. Ignore it, and you're seen as disrespecting the community's core values. Friday night, Shabbat begins. For observant Israelis, it's a total tech blackout. No lights, no phones, no cooking, no driving. Homes are prepped, food cooked in advance, lights on timers, special elevators that stop on every floor. Flipping a switch is as taboo as eating pork. For guests, the urge to use tech is strong, but don't. Breaking Shabbat rules disrupts the peace families work hard to create. It's a weekly reset, rooted in ancient law. In Israel, even your light switch is sacred. The Sabbath is a boundary between the everyday and the holy. In Israel, religion and politics aren't just topics, they're identities. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict and religious observance are deeply personal. Outsiders who wade in with simple solutions or blunt questions risk offending. Israelis debate these issues fiercely, with each other. For visitors, it's better to listen and ask about personal experiences, not make declarations. The taboo isn't the topic, it's the outsider's lack of context. Here, conversation is an art, and a minefield. Tread carefully. Israel welcomes Christian pilgrims, but a recent trend of harassment by extremists has shocked the nation. Spitting at clergy or pilgrims is universally condemned, from the prime minister to religious leaders. These acts violate core Jewish values and damage Israel's global image. The offenders are a tiny fringe, but the impact is huge. New laws and policing are being called for. Protecting pilgrims is a national priority. In Israel, harming guests is a taboo that unites almost everyone in outrage. Price tag attacks, vandalism or violence by extremist settlers, usually targeting Palestinians or holy sites, are a national shame. The mode of retaliation for actions against settlements, most Israelis, including many settlers, are horrified. The debate: are these youth or terrorists? Labeling matters. Terrorism brings harsher penalties. These attacks force Israel to confront its own extremes. It's a taboo that exposes the country's deepest divisions. Military service is a rite of passage for most Israelis. Refusing to serve, especially for political reasons, is a profound taboo. Refuseniks face social ostracism, family disappointment, even jail. Some object to all violence, others protest the occupation. Their stance sparks fierce debate about duty, morality, and dissent. Most see service as patriotism. Refuseniks offer a counter-narrative. They're few, but force the nation to question itself. In Israel, saying no to the draft is a radical act. The flip side of Israel's mandatory military service is that ultra-Orthodox men are largely exempt from the draft. This exemption has become a significant point of contention within Israeli society. It's a deal dating back to Israel's founding, a compromise made in the early days of the nation. What began as a small exception, intended to allow a few dedicated religious scholars to continue their studies, now covers tens of thousands of men. The numbers have grown exponentially over the decades. Secular Israelis see this as fundamentally unfair. Their kids serve, often risking their lives, while others don't contribute to national security in the same way. This disparity creates deep resentment. The slogan "sharing the burden" has become a rallying cry, fueling intense political battles and social unrest. Haredim, on the other hand, argue their Torah study protects the nation spiritually, providing a divine shield against its enemies. They believe their prayers are as vital as military service. They also fear the army would erode their way of life, exposing their young men to secular values and potentially leading them away from religious observance. This issue deeply divides Israeli society, topples governments, sparks massive street protests, and challenges the very fabric of Israeli democracy. It's a clash of fundamental values, a struggle between tradition and modernity, with no easy answer in sight. The draft exemption is arguably Israel's most explosive taboo, a constant source of tension and a seemingly intractable problem. 13 taboos, 13 windows into Israel's soul. These aren't just rules, they're the pressure points where tradition, modernity, and identity collide. Understanding them is key to understanding Israel itself. What's sacred to one is political to another. Which taboo surprised you most? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.